Ladies and gentlemen, I have taken a big risk today. We are about to get promoted to A license on the sports car side of the iRacing platform. However, I'm doing a GT3 race at the all-new and improved Spa-Francorchamps circuit. For those of you that don't know, week 13 is almost guaranteed chaos, but this race, hopefully, will be able to keep it clean. Well, we line up P3 then, ready for this race, and for some reason now, you have to do the full Spa layout on an outlap. iRacing, please fix. But yeah, I must admit, I am really looking forward to this one. I have taken a bit of a gamble. I'm at 4.99 on the old SR, so I'm hoping this race doesn't go too badly, and I still get promoted to my A license ready for next season, because I would like to do some IMSA in the not too distant future. But 15 laps then around Spa, gonna probably be a 7-lap race, I would imagine. And as the BMW then just in front of me is going to lead the way out of the final corner. He's absolutely got the jump on everybody there. Mercedes will slot into P2. And yeah, we were really caught out in a horrible spot. I knew exactly what that BMW was going to attempt to do in towards that first corner. But yeah, wasn't expecting him to go as early as he did there, as we've got quite a nice variety though in this race. I've obviously opted for the Ferrari with a beautiful Martini paint scheme on it as well. Yeah, we've got BMW leading the way, Mercedes in P2 ahead of a Porsche. And I believe, yeah, we've got a few more BMWs a little bit further back there. Nice and easy through a Rouge for the first time. Just a slight lender throttle. Don't really want to bin it on my first ever racing lap of Eau Rouge there. As you can see, the Merc already just trying to find a little bit of room there. Obviously, you've got to try and learn new markers and everything like that around this circuit, because of course some of the old ones just don't exist anymore. And I must admit, yeah, from doing some practice laps and of course that video we did yesterday in the Cadillac as well here, I'm a really big fan of the new version of Spa. I think it's going to provide even better racing than the old version did as well. There's, unfortunately, we're not doing the Moto layout. I don't know how many series are going to feature the Moto layout. I reckon it'll end up being something like the Skip Barber or something like that they'll probably use around it. But yeah, track temperature as well, very cool. It rained through practice, and the track was still ever so slightly damp as we went into qualifying, so obviously all of those conditions do carry over. The Porsche behind me almost runs into the back of me there, so everybody desperate to try and get as much temperature into their tyres as quickly as they possibly can as well. There is top two just starting to break away from me a little bit through some of these corners, so we've really got to try and bring out our A game here. I haven't done many races in the Ferrari ever, to be completely honest with you. I don't really know why I picked this car, to be completely honest, but I thought, we'll give it a whirl. It might be a bit of fun ready for this race as well. Of course, I want to do a couple of bits in the all-new BMW as well at some point, and I want to try out the mini stock, because I've seen quite a few clips from that, and obviously that does look very good fun there. Again, Porsche behind me almost runs into the back of me there. We just kind of have to adapt my line slightly just to make sure they didn't clip me there. But yeah, pole sitter took that pole by about half a second in the end. Looks like the Mercedes isn't going to let him get away in the race though just as easily there. It's really got to try and get down towards the wall in through turn one. That curb though on the exit, you've got to be super careful of there, as that's been, especially for week 13, one of the calmer starts I think I'll ever see as well. As surely this time round, Eau Rouge, he's going to be completely flat. They just bounce over the curbs ever so slightly. And yeah, you can see again, the Mercedes, they're just able to inch away from me a little bit. I don't think this car is particularly great in a straight line. Ferraris on iRacing were always good over curbs, but I could not tell you what the current GT3 BOP is going to be like. I would expect next season it's going to be, obviously if it does get confirmed, it's probably going to be the McLaren 720S show, which I'll wait and see as to whether I'm going to engage with that kind of herd mentality ism as well. There is sort of just overstepping the mark ever so slightly through there. This circuit, yeah, definitely still provides a very good challenge as well, as Stephen and Philippe, I think, might just have the legs on me a little bit in terms of raw pace at the moment, but we seem to be able to inch away from the guy behind there, as I think actually, yeah, the guy behind's binned it going down through Puon, I think I saw. I just think I watched the car running very wide on the exit there of the corner. And like I said, you know, it is still very easy on such a cold track just to have one little moment where the traction control cuts in, power gets cut out, and you find yourself spinning off into the shadow rounds. That's exactly what obviously we are trying to avoid at this stage of the race there. As I got no idea then. Who on earth's gone? Grant Foster. I don't recognise that name off the starting grid, so I don't think they started all too close to us. Yeah, we are. I mean, it's week 13. We're always going to lose numbers, aren't we? Throughout the opening couple of laps as well there. But I tell you what, we could come back and get a podium. First time of asking, I'd be very, very happy. We seem to be a little bit more confident in towards those final couple of corners as well there. The bus stop chicane obviously does suit this car. So there we go.
220.0. The car in front's lap time is a 219.7.
We just dipped into the 2-minute 19s there, so yeah, your top three definitely with the legs over everybody else, but annoyingly the top two definitely just with the legs over me. I think we need them to fight a little bit more than they are right now, and hopefully, yeah, that could prove really worthwhile for us there. As there we go, nice and easy flat that time out. Now we've got the tyres up to temperature, and, you know, built up a little bit more confidence in the car as well. Now, obviously, week 13, you do actually get a fast repair as well in this race. So, obviously, if you do get taken out on lap 1, it isn't actually all over. And if you're watching this and you are thinking about doing some races in week 13, even if you need SR, even if you get taken out on lap 1, it can still be worth, obviously, just taking that fast repair and just hot lapping for the remaining 15 minutes of a session as well, because it can really just still give you that boost that sometimes you need. I wouldn't recommend it as a guaranteed method, but it is certainly possible there. As yeah, that Merc definitely starting to lean on the BMW just a little bit more, so that is good news for me. If we could just watch those two fight a bit, that would be fantastic there, as first 1X around this sparse circuit. Apparently there's no incident limit either, which is ever so slightly concerning. Now, I'm expecting that to mean that some people are going to get loads of incidents. I'm trying to keep mine as low as possible. But yeah, luckily, I mean, obviously Spa, the track limits have been updated anyway before this new version came to the sim. But yeah, luckily all of those horrible 1Xs that you pick up absolutely everywhere, hopefully now are a thing of the past as well. As yeah, top two though, definitely getting the legs on me. I thought, no, what's happened behind me? Why have we suddenly got a 10-second gap to the cars behind? I think we're kind of driving into a bit of a lonely race here at the moment. Not too sure what's happened as to how we've ended up with such a gap. So I can just absolutely mash the brake there. Merc in front just runs slightly deep. So you can see, yeah, we make up a good few tenths of a second through there each and every time round. But as those two get quicker and quicker, we are just getting ever so slightly slower. 19s again coming in for our front two, and yeah, like I said, we are just a few tenths away from that. Definitely noticing still a bit more slip. This track, yeah, is a lot cooler than previous times, or a lot warmer even than a lot of times I've driven it. So yeah, you're getting a little bit of slip slide in quite a few spots there, and that is not ideal, as you can get away with a little bit of curb up the top of Eau Rouge. Or Radion even, I should say, of course. But yeah, I mean, that's, you know, that's nice, of course, that it does give you a tiny bit of leeway still, because of course GT3 cars. So I was lucky to go and watch the Spa 24 a couple of months back now, and I mean, you are just hopping kind of over the top of that curb there, at the top of that corner. But I must admit, I think if I'd started a bit further down the order, maybe having all of that new breathing room up the top of Eau Rouge as well, if someone else in front of you goes off and things like that, is probably quite nice to have as well. As we just try and navigate our way through. Seem to have a lot of responsiveness from the front end when we get it dialed in this car as well. So I think we, you know, I'm starting to see the Merc struggle a little bit. As long as we don't overstep it too much either, I think we might just have the pace. If we can get back inside his slipstream. He seems to have lost it to our leader. We might be able to just get back with him at this stage. So I really don't know whether Fanya's is second or third gear in this car. I'm going to try second and just attack the curbing there as we run ever so slightly wide off the exit, and then through here as well. We're trying to use second just to get the front end tipped in. Then yeah, third gear completely flat out. I love the fact iRacing still calls that circuit Paul Frere, It's Stavolo to me. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I still always will know that as Stavolo there, as we're still seeing other drivers dropping out. Like we said, it is only going to be a 7-lap race. We're almost 10 minutes in already. So, yeah, I do quite like these short races in week 13 as well. There is, again, absolutely mashing the brake pedal through the final couple of corners. Maybe a bit too much steering lock that time round. But, yeah, definitely starting to see our top 2 times slowing down as well. So we were pretty much even that time round with the Merc. BMW, yeah, definitely has just that little bit more in the back pocket there. It's just starting to get a little bit of cloud cover around this venue as well. Now, if you run wide over that curb on the outside, you can short shift up to second. You can kind of allow yourself to get away with it a little bit and not lose much time in the process, because, yeah, the curbs here now are quite aggressive, you know. They are very, very jagged. And that can obviously mean in a GT3 car.
2.0 seconds.
There we go, yeah, that gap is still going up just a little bit. But yeah, that means in a GT3 car, you know, you do cut the power and you really do lose a fair amount of momentum off a corner as well. There is, again, the Merc just kicking up a little bit of dust. You can attack that curb through there, though, through the middle part of the chicane and get away with it quite nicely. But it is, you know, it's risky. Obviously, if you're confident and you've got a proper setup on the car, then you can probably hit it quite reliably, but fixed setup-wise, can be a little bit of a risk to obviously even bother attempting it, because, yeah, you can immediately get the traction control cut in, power cuts out, and you're kind of there bogging down on the exit of the corner, or even worse than that, potentially going for a spin as well as, I mean, yeah, through some of these corners, definitely seem to have the legs on the Merc. I might try and leave it in third gear through here this time around, but of course make sure that we still scrub off enough speed just to allow the car to flow through a little bit, and yeah, that works. That works really, really nicely there. A little bit wide on the exit, but again, obviously you're that 1 gear higher, and you can utilise that to the best of your ability there, as once again roll off that corner, and obviously you carry that speed right the way up. Merc in front again makes a little bit of an error, so he's definitely dropping away from our leader and perhaps pushing just a bit too much to try and keep up with him, and maybe we'll just start dropping back in towards my clutches towards the end. We need to set some faster lap times than him, though, funnily enough, if I want to catch up. But obviously also just gives you that little bit of extra psychological boost as well, knowing you can go quicker than the guy in front of you. Still too scared to really attack the bus stop all too aggressively. So again, another little mistake on the exit. But we do go fractionally quicker that time round, I believe.
20.2.
Only 0.02 of a second in it, though. So yeah, us three at the top all seem to be fairly settled with where we're at. If we could just get the slipstream, that could be really, really handy towards the end. But all 3 of those gaps now just starting to open up. And I tell you what, Stephen in the lead, setting consistent 2.19s, is very, very quick. And yeah, just the fact he's able to do it every single lap, where obviously myself and Philippe have just dropped out of that range just a little bit as well there. See, yeah, better at the back straight. I think we are picking up a tiny bit more speed, but not enough to worry about too much either. There is, again, another little bit of kick up from Philippe in front, so he's trying to explore the limits. And there we go, yeah, just confirmation there from the team, or from crew chief, that that gap is coming down. Oh, come on, nose in, nose in. It's so difficult, because you are then met with a little bit more oversteer on the exit, and it just kind of slides the car right the way through these next couple of corners. But if you get it hooked up, there is definitely a bit of time to be had. Can I leave it in 4th gear through there? We're just trying to build up confidence in the car. That was good again, and the gap again just comes down another couple of tenths. All we are doing at the moment is watching that relative towards the end of this race, but we're only going to have 1 lap to go after this one, so we haven't got much time to really try and make the difference here, and that's going to be really, really difficult. You know, if we're still floating, you know, 8-9 tenths back, if we're lucky, that might still be quite tough. Did I get a good run off that corner? I left it in 3rd gear. Didn't really help us out whatsoever, to be honest. That's a bit of a shame. I was hoping that maybe just, you know, using slightly less engine brake would carry some momentum off there, but yeah, that gap's still 1.5 seconds. I think if we absolutely nail this final lap, we can start filling his mirrors, and maybe then we can do something about it, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Just trying to use that curbing on the outside, or just tip the nose in. Got the weight over the front there, and that induced the understeer, which is really not ideal. And yeah, that lap time again. I think that bus stop chicane might have just ruined us. Might ruin any chance we've got here on this final lap, but that doesn't stop Philippe making a couple of little errors. Yeah, we've seen him kicking up the dirt just a little bit over these last couple, but yeah, Stephen in front though, we've held the pressure early on, and he's kind of going to walk away with this one when all is said and done. I mean, 4 seconds isn't a huge lead in a 15-minute GT3 race, but it's certainly good going as well. Like I said, after his interesting start procedure there, I mean, he absolutely nailed it. I knew what he was doing, though. But obviously, we just were kind of left a bit stranded in the process. We've got a bit of time behind. We can afford to take risk on this final lap as well there. Just try and see if we can get a bit closer as well. Get that gap down. You know, maybe just if we get one error, if he makes one small slip up, then maybe we can just try and push the envelope a little bit there as hugging that apex will go through. That worked out really nicely. Again, you've got to be careful of this car bottoming out on the exit there, but utilising that newfound curbing on the outside there, that was usually a horrible corner for a 1X. Luckily, not the same anymore. So we've got a slow car ahead. That is sadly a lapped car though. So, leader... Excuse me? What on earth was that? Just hold your line, buddy. Look at our second incident. I thought that might be proper week 13 coming into full effect there on the last lap of this race, but I mean, why? You were parked over on off the racing line. Why not just stay there rather than try me or run me off the road? But final few corners then of this race as we try and put the power down again. Like I said, I think had we nailed it, we could have been able to keep up with Philip there, but ultimately, if we can try and get a new personal best last lap as well, I will take it here. Up through corner we go. New Spa though, very, very good fun. And I'm looking forward to doing more and more races around this venue as well. Now, that is way too late on the brakes. Into the bus stop. There, we actually got it slowed down as well. A little bit of a moment there with the traction on the exit. At the final corner though, up towards the line. Stephen's going to take the win. Philip in P2. We will walk away with a P3 finish when all is said and done. I'm happy with that one. We'll go take a look at the final results. Well, I forgot I'm a little bit of a moron. And of course, obviously, yeah, these Week 13 series don't give you any iRacing or apparently move your SR as well, which I thought was a little bit strange. But there we go. We finished P3 in the end, 3.4 seconds off from the race winner there. Stephen, yeah, really, really good job. And I mean, P4 from 19th on the grid to 4th place come the checkered flag, able to carve his way through. Still not entirely sure why we saw a 16-second gap between myself and 4th place when all is said and done. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon with more iRacing content.